Thank you for coming. This is going to be the first podcast, and I hope I'll have a lot of content to talk about, that I will have this going on and on, sharing with people my experiences in life, all that I have learned, and all the failures, all the success, all the up and down. And I got to where I am today because of all of that. And now I'm ready to share all of that with you all and on the podcast. So what brought this to today was actually what happened in June. The trip that I went on in June, and it was in 3 sectors. And again, it shows you how everything is connected. And I believe that highly. Everything is connected. So I had signed up for going to Scotland, the hikes. So they have a West Highland Trail, they call it in Scotland, and it's 150 kilometers. And I had always wanted to go because of the beauty, because of that, and because of the challenge of the hike. So that was the first one. But in order to tell you what happened in June, I'd like to tell you that this podcast is all about self-discovery to service. And what is that? Is how I discovered myself in order how to serve others. And it all came together in June. And because all the time I was saying, like, okay, everybody says I want to give back, I want to serve other people, but what is it exactly that I want to do in serving? And that's why June was the critical month where it all came together and it showed me the path. So if you had told me 15 years ago that I would be standing in front of people, I'd be teaching, or I'd be talking, or sharing, or giving workshops, I would have laughed and I said, me? No way. There is no way I can be doing that. But yet, here I am, actually doing that after 15 years of what I went through in those 15 years. And it all happened because it was a journey of self-discovery. So in order to know other people, in order to be able to help other people, you first have to know yourself. When you know yourself and shed all the layers of ego that we all carry, that's where you go to the self, to the true self. I'm not saying we can deeply go to the true self because between ego and self, it's a big spectrum. But the more you shed the layers, the more you go towards the self. And the closer you become, that's the closer you become to know yourself, and you know you can go out there and help other people. It's not easy. The work is not easy. But the beauty about it is you have a lot of people around you that help you in order to do that. You have to be open up. And that is one of the things that ego comes in. We always think that we know it all. We don't know it all. And once we open up to other people helping us and knowing to where to go and who to ask help from, that's where all the shedding starts happening. And that's the beauty of it. So it is not a work of a self by itself. It's the beauty of everyone around also. Okay, but you have to be ready for it. And that was the beauty. Now, last June crystallized all those 15 years, and all of a sudden, everything came together. Because I was looking and trying and saying like, okay, so I want to help. I want to do podcasts, I want to do workshops. But it wasn't structured. I didn't know what to do exactly. And so I had signed up for the Highland hikes in Scotland, and I was looking forward to it. And that was the first 12 days of June. I was going also, before that, I was going through a therapy course for 9 months in order to discover what our because once you want to know who you are, you have to know where you're coming from, and it all comes from our thoughts and emotions and our traumas and what we go through life. So during those 9 months, that was where the inner work was happening. So in that period, I was looking for a retreat to go to in order to go deep inside myself and understand myself in a very, very deep meditation retreat. And that's where I got to be introduced to a very amazing retreat in South Wales, and it was happening from 13th to 15th of June, right immediately after the 12th, where I finished my hike. So I said, I'm going. It's calling me. So I sign up. 2 weeks before I leave, so we are in May, another thing happened, and in one of my walks in the morning, I listened to podcasts and interviews, and this interview came up, and it was about a course they give at New York University, which is called Becoming You. And all of a sudden I thought, what? This is what I want to go, because I want to know how becoming you is done. And it was after the retreat, so it was in the middle, it was in the 23rd of June. And I am in Wales, halfway through, and right next to New York, so I signed up. So see what I mean with the connections that... So the trip that shaped all the clarity for me, it started with the hike. It was a mirror, that hike was a mirror of what I have been going through the past 10, 12 years, working on myself and talking about, and that is longevity. I tell people, if you want to have a long life and a good health and in living in a good shape and a good health and all that, there's a lot of work that we have to do, physically and mentally, in order for us to be able to go through life for longevity, but in a good way. And try as much as we can not to have sicknesses and diseases. So it's a lot of that. And what happened in the hike was I saw myself, the resilience I had, and the way I could go on for 25, 30 kilometers every day walking. It could not have happened if I had not worked on myself. The gyms that I had I go to daily, the daily walks that I go to, that was the resilience that gave me in order to be able to do that hike. And the other mirror was the youngsters who were with me on that trip, and looking at me and saying, oh God, we want to be like that when we are your age. And I say, you will be, if you start working on yourself from now. And that's the longevity. So I saw the results of all those years that I have been working on myself physically, mirrored in that hike. So that was Highland Hikes. That was Scotland. The silent retreat, or the deep meditation retreat that I went to in South Wales, was for me to test the readiness to move forward in life, because it made me go through deep inside, okay, and reflect. What have I done so far? Where have I reached? How can I move forward from there? And the beauty of it was the retreat with everyone else being there, and they were all strangers. I didn't know anyone there. And seeing how they reflected what they are going through life, the humanity between us, the connections between us, the love, the empathy, and the lesser ego, the ego going down and down, and reaching out and trying to help others was what showed up in that retreat. And then it made me ready to go to the third stage, which was the New York trip. I mean, imagine from a hike, beautiful views, serene, peaceful, and then the meditation, you go to New York with all the hustle and bustle. But the workshop that I went to is a deep workshop that what happens is you go into your values, into your aptitudes. You do assessments on what your values are. Unfortunately, the values that we forget, because when we go into the society, we try to do what other people want us to do. And we forget actually what our values are and what we want to do, not what people expect from us. And going through that, the meditation, and then going through my values, and then going through my aptitudes, it cleared out the path that, yes, you are here to serve other people. You are now ready. And that workshop gave me the structure and the framework of how to do it and how to go forward from there. So, the shift from expectations to authenticity that was the turning point where I stopped thinking about what other people want me to do and start thinking of what I want to do and what are my values and what skills and aptitudes I have that I can use to help other people with. Now the mission is clear. It's to help others uncover their values and their aptitudes, share them with me, and I share them the experience that I've had so far in doing that, in order for them to kind of open up the path for them that they want to have meaning in life. And this is where I stand today. And this is where the podcast is going to be all about. Every time we will be tackling a subject about either values, either aptitudes, experiences, life, what happens in life, and what I have been through and how I tackled it with the help of other people, and share it with those who want to hear it and want to work on themselves, and take it from there. So this is where this podcast is going to be all about going forward. And now we cannot change culture unless we start changing ourselves individually. So we need to live a life of intention, aligned with our values and our aptitudes and our purpose in life. And this is what it's all about.